Welcome to the Fort Johnson podcast, where we bring you stories of valor, service, and the incredible experiences of those who serve. Today, we're dedicating our episode to the remarkable soldiers of 310 Mountain. I'm your host, and I have the distinct pleasure of welcoming two distinguished guests from the ranks of the mighty 10th Mountain Division. Joining us in the studio is 2nd Lieutenant Steven Londono from 2nd of the 4th Infantry and Sergeant Sorto from the 3rd of the 89th Cavalry Regiment. Together, they represent the strength and resilience of our soldiers, the backbone of our nation's defense. This week, we're peeling back the layers of military life, discussing the unique challenges and triumphs that come with being part of the 310 Mountain. So, without further ado, let's march into conversation with Lieutenant Londono and Sergeant Sorto and uncover the true essence of soldiering in one of the Army's most storied divisions. Let's get started. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you are watching our podcast. I am Jeff England from the Fort Johnson Public Affairs Office, coming live, recorded live from the I almost said Londono, the Fort Johnson podcast studio. Today we have with us 2nd Lieutenant Londono, Steven. I'm gonna call you Steve just for today. Then outside I'll call you Lieutenant. No problem. And then and to my left is Sergeant Sorto. Julia, how are you doing today?
Doing real good.
That's great. I'm glad you guys came in. I've been excited to once I was able to yes, I get to talk to the real soldiers out there doing all the work while I sit over here trying to do a podcast. So, what are your actual jobs? Steve, what do you do on a daily basis? What's your MO? Do officers have an MOS, or do they call that something different?
Yeah, we still have an MOS. It's mostly kind of related to branches. So I'm an intelligence officer. I'm a 35 Alpha. Yeah, so I'm over at 2-4. I'm the assistant S2. So I'm really helping out my S2, Captain Lib over there, and completing daily tasks and making sure that we're there.
Now, all those S's and G's and I've for as many years as I've worked with the Army, I still don't get all of that.
Every day it's a new thing.
I think the only one I know is a G3. Yeah. It's like scheduling or something like that.
Yeah, we still got a G2 as well. There's probably a G1 out there, G4, who knows? But yeah,
and a bunch of G-men and G-women.
Yes, sir.
Julie, what do you do? What is your MOS?
My MOS is 92 Fox, so a fueler.
A fueler? What do you fuel up?
For the most part, like all the vehicles. So usually we get supporting the battalion or our squadron, as I'm in a 389, and all the people that are gonna go on missions, like all the fields that they go to, or all the tasking they're supporting. So like people that come to JRTC here, if they need fuel, like they can just reach out and then.
So that's like in the Air Force we have POL. Petroleum, oils, and lubricants, and they're the ones that drive these big fuel trucks out to the jets and refuel the jets out there. And so is that do you work over in the motor pool and take care of a lot of stuff like that, or is it strictly with the fuel and the lubricants and stuff like that?
No, so yes, like you said, it is just fuel. So like we come in and we give out the fuel, but we do have HEMTs, which I think what you're talking about, like the 2,500 gallon tanks.
Yeah, those are huge.
And then we also have a thing called TRM. And
TRM, what's that?
It's like a storage for fuel, and it still and it has the same capacity as HEMT, so like still 2,500 gallons.
Dang, that's a lot. That's a lot of gas.
Yeah.
And I complain about putting 25 gallons in my truck.
It's a process.
So, how long are your? I mean, for a soldier doing all the work. I mean, because I know you guys are out there doing all the work for all of the people that take all the credit. And so, how long are your days? Are they? I mean, you start at 5, don't you, to go out and or when do you guys have to do PT every day?
Correct. Yeah.
So, I mean, you are soldiers first. So you do PT. So what time is PT in the morning? That's like earlier than I get up.
Go ahead, sir.
It's like
is it different?
It's like at 6:30. So I'm up by around 5:30.
Oh, wow.
Just to make sure I don't like getting caught up. being late or anything like that. But
I think all of us have the PT during 6:30 because we do have to salute the flag. But some of us is different because like we have kids or like we have one car or we're dual military, so like they do have to get up earlier.
Yeah, well, family's important, and you know, I like seeing how the military says no, family's important. You take care of the kids, and the day starts off with PT, and then you go home, you change, you come back to work, and then how long does the day last, or what time do you guys get off? 5 o'clock.
Nice part. That would be nice.
Yeah.
it really is. It's dependent on the objective and the mission task for the battalion itself. So, I mean, I know maybe you're going through the same pre-deployment operations and stuff like that. I mean, all of that stuff is.
Oh yeah, that's the important stuff. Yep. You know, you got to get ready for real world missions and stuff. So.
Yeah, definitely. So it's very mission dependent. It that plays a huge part into like our days. If something's got to get completed, something's got to get completed. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And of course, your soldiers 24 hours a day. So
right, yeah,
it's like when we're called up. I mean, yeah, that was great. So I mean, how long have you guys been in?
I've been in for 4.5 years now.
4.5.
5 minutes.
5 minutes. You just got here today.
Yeah, I commissioned over last May, so I'm about to hit a year.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
So where did you get your qualifications, you know, your bachelor's degree?
I got it over at Florida State.
Florida State, FSU? Yep. Seminole.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, through and through.
Yeah, I like Tallahassee. I've been through there.
Love it there.
Love it there. So did you go to like ROTC?
Yes, sir. So I did my 4 years in the program there. And then afterward, summer training. And then, commissioned straight out. So
nice. And Julia, you came in. Where did you go to basic?
I went to Fort Jackson.
Fort Jackson, that's in Mississippi.
No, it's
I get those mixed up.
South Carolina.
South Carolina. How'd you like it there? It was basic, so I mean, you didn't get to see much. So
like we went out like 5 miles, but that's about it.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
On a family day.
Yeah, in the Air Force, every single person that goes through basic goes through the same Air Force base. That's out in San Antonio, in Lackland. So anybody that's been in the Air Force, they all have one thing in common. We've all been through Lackland.
Yeah. You see them out there all the time, too. I mean, that river walk and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we get like 1 day to go down, and it's like right towards graduation. So you get 1 day to go downtown and check out the town, and then you have to be back. So you don't get a lot of time to really enjoy it, but it was fun. It was fun.
No, they're all over there. Yeah. For sure.
So, what made you guys decide to join the Army? Was it something that you wanted like for a long time, or was it something that it's like, hey, what made you decide to join?
One of the reasons why I decided to join, my family not necessarily agreed with it, because one of my older brother, he's a National Guard, and I've never really talked to him about it, never had interest in it, nothing. But due to my how I grew up in Ukraine, a lot of teachers would kind of like say like, you're not going to be nothing, basically. Like, just talk to you like super down. And I kind of always had that mentality. It's just like, hey, okay, nothing going to happen, right? So then my parents, they're very religious. I served a mission, LDS mission in Romania. And I felt like it was some of a service of like what I have, like what they've given me as a family. But after I got back, I was working with disabled people as well. And afterwards, I was just like, I want to do something more for the country. And I wouldn't consider myself patriotic, but some people may say that. But, I don't know, something about it. I was just like, I feel very grateful. I want to show my gratitude for the country, because here I was driving a 1996 car, and I felt grateful for it, you know? And I was just like, I got to do something. So I looked into my options and enlisted.
That's very cool. So you're from Ukraine, and you were adopted by American family.
That is right.
And that was how. So how was growing up in Ukraine compared to? Was it like a big old culture shock to come over here, or being a kid, or is being a kid pretty much the same in both countries?
No, it's very different because. Now I have my kid, and I'm just like, I would never bring them up in Ukraine, the environment that I grew up, because it was an orphanage. So the teachers, they weren't as nice. As like when I drop off my kid here, like they tell me all the things that like has to be done. They have cameras and everything. I was like, oh no, they don't have it. They beat you. They don't really care for what you have to say or protect you. It's all about their protection. So when you get out in the real world, you're just like, oh no, what am I doing? So it's very different.
So we've got some of the best schools in the United States military right here at Fort Johnson. I'm sure your kids are loving it.
It was just very different because as you asked, like, what's the difference? Mm-hmm. Is here they care, but when I was adopted, I was 13. So when I got into a school, teachers were all worried about me, and I didn't speak the language, so I learned how to say bathroom, and I really needed to go. And every time I asked, the teacher's like, yeah, for sure, by all means. One day I was just like, she knows what I'm gonna say, so I'm just gonna walk out. And then she started running after me, and she started talking. I was like, I don't think that's for me. I don't understand. And then she was just so worried. She was like, where are you going? I was like, no, understand. And later on, she called my mom, and she was like, oh, what happened? And she just told her she needed to go to the bathroom. So here, there's like more caring for your kids, making sure they're safe. As where I grew up in the orphanage, it wasn't necessarily that environment.
Well, that's that. You know that it's sad to hear. It's sad to hear the Ukraine side, but I mean, it's great to hear. It's great to hear that about our school systems. You know, it's we do take pride in taking care of our kids and making sure that they grow up healthy and strong and smart. Yeah, we try.
Making sure they have a future.
Yes, absolutely. So, Lieutenant, what was your goal in life to join the Army?
No, I definitely did. It was quite of a shock even for myself as well, just walking into that office and kind of just getting information. My father and my grandfather both served in the Navy, and they've always appreciated their time in service. I've always appreciated their time in service. I've gotten to see a lot of places, and I think I can relate to you, especially in the sense of, you know, as unpatriotic as it may seem, in a sense it might be, just because you're looking at a point of comparison between two different countries, how it was in Ukraine and then how it is here. You want to defend what is here. I'm Colombian, so I have been back and forth between Colombia as well. Both sides of my family are Colombian. And so I've been able to see poverty there, been able to see their lifestyle there, and I've grown even more appreciative to my lifestyle here as well.
No, it is very patriotic. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong with loving your country.
Oh yeah.
No matter what country you live in, if you love your country, it makes living a lot better.
Oh yeah. No, and then when you get a glimpse of other places, other countries, you definitely see how good we have it.
Yeah,
you want to protect that.
I've done the same thing. I've noticed other countries that I've been to, and it's like, oh no, I kind of like America.
Yep. So it really was kind of a tough talking to my grandfather and my dad, letting them know that I did choose the Army side over the Navy side. But I mean, they've been super supportive. My family's been super supportive, and yeah, ever since then.
I don't know. Navy's got like the best movies out there. They got Top Gun. I mean, the Army's got all the World War II movies.
We got the series.
And the Firebirds with the Apaches and all that stuff. And the Air Force has Iron Eagle.
Not cool.
No.
Not cool at all. Yeah.
So how you joined ROTC? Was that when you went to college, was it, okay, I'm going to join ROTC, or was it a second kind of thing, or did you even go to ROTC?
No, so I joined college normally. I really wasn't thinking about it at all. And then for some odd reason, like the algorithm, like the YouTube algorithms or the Instagram algorithms would always pop up with the Army. So Army's doing something right with that. So stuff is popping up for sure. But no, that would come up, and then at the dorm where I was living at, they would always do PT in front. And from the beginning, I would work out in the mornings because that would be the easiest time, even outside of the Army, even before I even did ROTC. And on my way to the gym, I'd walk in and I'd see like the pieces of tape where they were doing sprints and stuff like that. And I was like, I'm already doing this as it is. I'm already waking up early to work out. I might as well just do it for something. So after that, I spoke with my grandfather. He came down, he drove all the way up to Tallahassee, and we both went into the into another office first. And then after that, we're on our way out and we saw the Army office and we were like, yeah, let's give it a try. And then ever since then, here.
See, you must have gone into the right recruiter.
Yeah.
I went into a recruiter and they said, oh no, we don't recruit for officers. That's just something that happens, or you have to talk. It's like, in other words, he was. I was within 1 year of my bachelor's degree at that time. I could have gone. At least I could have gone OTS, which is Officer Training School, is OCS in the Army.
Yep.
And so, how you guys like it so far? I mean,
I would say it's not bad. Depends how you look at it, right? Because a lot of people, as soon as they get here, they already know, it's like, oh, there's nothing here. Like, it's going to be miserable. But the way I look at it, because, like, I have a different mindset of, like, I joined for gratitude. I don't know. I like it just because, like, you have some good leadership, but, like, that's what you learn. So it's not necessarily for Fort Polk or anything, or for Johnson. But I have some good leaders. I had my old First Sergeant Perez. She gave me a lot of guidance, and I was like, you know what? I want to stay in and help soldiers. Like, that's my thing. But my First Sergeant now, First Sergeant Pertouche, all he does is LPDs, because, like, I ask questions all the time. So it's all about learning mentality. If you have that, like, I think any place could be great.
Absolutely. You know, I learned a lot late. I learned way too late that I could be miserable anywhere. It takes a conscious decision to and a good attitude to enjoy someplace. And when I came down here, it's like, yes, this is going to be the place. I'm going to love it. And it's been wonderful to me. I mean, everything I have no complaints about it. I mean, yeah, you have to drive someplace. Okay, well, you're gonna have to do that anywhere, but we don't have the traffic, so you can go twice as far at the same price or the same time.
Well, I chose this place.
Oh, awesome!
Because I thought it was L.A., Los Angeles. Let's go.
They got it.
Little did I know.
Oops! It's like, no, L.A. is Lower Alabama.
Yeah.
So. How you've been almost a year or about a year?
About a year. I'll hit a year in a few days. I've been enjoying it a lot. It's been a slow process picking up on a few things, especially like Army things. You know, one thing is, as an officer, relying on the enlisted side and relying on my NCOs. You know, I've been blessed to work and to be brought up by a lot of NCOs. A lot of people, what they don't talk about is in ROTC, really the person you see the most and the person that teaches you the most and is most involved with you is the NCOs. And so learning from them, I mean, there's a couple of names even from my program then. And then even coming here now, you know, with my NCO I see over at S2, like Sergeant Cressy, I mean, he kills it and he has like a strong backbone and he's great. He's great in teaching me what's right, what's wrong, and I've been appreciating the patience that everybody's been having with me so far. So,
well, shout out to Kresge.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, yeah, there's some things that I've always thought. It's like, if I could say anything to the junior officers that come in, trust your NCOs. They've been around for a little while. They know what they're doing, especially and don't make the E9s mad.
Oh,
I learned that the hard way.
Oh my God, yeah, no, definitely. No, but I mean, yeah, I've been appreciating all the patience, even with the lower enlisted, just kind of getting me up to speed, and I've been enjoying it a lot. It's been a very good environment, and yeah, for sure.
That's great. So if you were able, okay, so I mean, you guys aren't going to stay here forever. Mm-hmm. This is your first. This is your first installation. Are you hoping to get someplace? I mean, we have dream sheets. I'm sure you guys have dream sheets, but there's even a better way to do it. It's like, oh, there's an opening there. I'll put it in for that. So where are you hoping to go after this?
I'm hoping to go probably I think it's called Fort Casavas. Casavas or Fort San.
No, Cavazos.
Cavazos, right.
Yeah.
Or Fort San Antonio. Just because I'm dual military. My husband's is a nutrition specialist, so it's like a medical. Uh-huh. So that would be like the prime places for him to go.
Oh, that'd be great.
So once he goes there, I'll be able to do my recruiting packet there and hopefully recruit.
Nice.
and then switched to OCS, being officer.
So you could pass on the favor and the awesomeness of being in the military.
Right.
You can also look into Joint Base Lewis McChord.
That was supposed to be my first duty station, and then COVID hit because my graduation was March 20th. They announced COVID day prior. So the duty station got taken away. They put me in for drum. That was like a second place. And then for some reason, they took it back and put me here.
Wow. And you asked for it.
I did.
So sometimes they do give you what you asked for. That's nice.
Yeah.
So where are you looking to or trying to get to after this? I mean, after a nice long 2-3 years or here?
Yes, sir. Well, I'm looking to keep my options open. I think I've been learning that a lot since being stationed here, that you want to do that. Just that way you don't get slapped in the face, getting told that you're coming somewhere you don't want to go. So I wanted to keep it open, someplace like Fort Meade, like you as well, something a little bit more centered towards my job. Fort Meade, the NSA center's there, so I would definitely appreciate a place like that. But I mean, there's always those great places you want to go, like Fort Carson and JBLM.
Oh yeah,
Hawaii. I mean, those are
some nice places.
Yes.
And now I've been to Dinfos and that's at Fort Meade.
Oh, really?
So the NSA there, don't look at the building.
Is that what they say?
Don't look at it. Don't go around it. Don't go in it. Nothing. They know all about it.
They know when you do look. Yep.
They're like Siri.
Yeah, exactly.
Or Alexa.
Exactly.
Listening.
So what is your favorite part of your job when you came in? Is this something that you aim to do, or did you apply for? Did you say this is a job that sounds good to me? Because a lot of times it's no, this is going to be the job that we've got for you, and then from there you can work it out to something else. Was this a choice? I have a feeling that most people in the Army, because of the open enlistments, they're assigned a position. So whether you joined it or picked it or not, what's some of the best, or what are some of the favorite parts of your jobs?
I think just the learning experience, or like making sure to like give the LPD, so like doing like leader professional development. And a lot of NCOs get those, but not a lot of junior Joes get, like in the Army. So for me, that's like my favorite part, is like getting together with them and teach them. So like when, let's say, division comes down, I don't want them to ask me questions because they know I'm gonna know it and it's gonna look nice. So I was just like, go ahead and ask my Joe. So I think that's my favorite part, is to care for them. That like they're not just like a little Joe. They actually play a big part in the accomplishment of the mission. So like LT said, everything that they have get tested out, because they focus on more like of a mission, accomplishment of a mission. So they're gonna come to us, and the little Joes is who gets the mission accomplished. And that's like my favorite part, is like making things work with little Manning that we have.
Yeah, the Manning has gotten kind of tight, and we're all sharing more together, and it is a teamwork or a team job. I mean, yeah, when you're the people that you supervise and the people that you're over know as much as you, then you've done your job.
Yep.
Yeah. So
definitely.
So what about?
I mean, I'll add on to that. Like a part of our job as well is making sure that we are a motivator and that we are leaders that people do look up to. And yeah, I mean, a big part of inspiring those at the lower level is really just showing them what the mission task is, what we're actually there to do. I think that's the most important part. And so doing those OPDs and making sure that they are aware of what's going on, that's huge. And that's a very inspiring a moment as well for them. And I mean, including myself as well, making sure that I'm a communicator and showing them that, hey, this is what's going on and this is why we're doing what we're doing. It's a really great moment for sure.
But I think if we also do our part, we will set them up to retire.
Yes.
Let's be honest, because like if we have like good NCOs, good PLs, like good company commanders, like if they're always inspiring you, always appreciating you, it's like I want to keep doing this.
Yeah.
So if they do 20 years, you did something right.
Yeah, you did something right. My recruiter did something right. I went from, and it was for me, it was all about being in the right job, because my first job I was not a good fit for it, and they just put me in there because they needed it. It's like I wanted something else. And nobody nobody thought it was good for me, and they all wanted me out. And then until I cross trained, and then I became a broadcaster for the Air Force, and that's when everything turned around, and that's when I became a big component or proponent for staying in. And I mean, 20 years goes by really, really quick, and it just seems to speed up even more. So, you guys looking at or at this moment, maybe at this moment in juncture, you looking at making this a career?
As I stated.
Yeah, I think you are.
Right, leadership, right? So like I do have like because right now I'm in a position of a platoon sergeant. Way too junior for that, but they put me in it. So because of that, like my first sergeant, he gives like all the training, all the like just all the guidance I need, and I think that's something inspires me to do so for somebody else. So I do look at 20 years, unless they put me in for drum, then I don't do cold, even though I'm from Ukraine.
Well, if you go to Fort Carson, that's going to be cold too.
Just it's not Fort Drum cold.
Okay, yeah. There's lake effect snow.
Yeah,
something about Fort Drum.
Yeah.
So you looking at making it a career?
For the time being, I do think so. I think it's very appreciating of the Army that they do that. They put you in a position where it kind of puts you under some pressure, but it's some manageable pressure, and it surrounds you with people that actually are subject matter experts that can help you through it. I mean, I'm going through that right now. We're about to lose our OIC, and so I'm supposed to be the man up for the job now. And so stepping up to that position, it can be a little bit overwhelming, but I mean that's why we got the people around us to help us out. And
but it looks like your leadership has faith in both of you to put you in positions that they know you can handle.
Yes, sir, definitely.
And they always say they go by potential.
Yeah.
And it's wild to me to see that like you can see potential of somebody. So like if you were to say like, what do you think about one of your privates? Like where can they be? And it's just like, I have no idea. But when you become an NCO or so, something about it, the switch, that it doesn't make you smarter or develops you a lot faster. It's just something makes sense. Mm-hmm. So as an NCO and you get put into the position, you can look at things a little bit differently because you're seeing the bigger picture than what the Joes see. And I think that's what, I don't know.
Yeah, that's inspiring. That's the stuff that wants us to keep, that makes us keep coming in. So yeah, I agree for sure.
Seeing the bigger picture, it's just like,
that's
okay,
awesome.
That's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Now, the regiment that you're in Cavalry Regiment.
Correct.
So, do you have the opportunity to earn your spurs and wear the cowboy hat and all that stuff?
Almost.
So, what do you know what it takes, or what do you have to be in a specific MOS for that, or?
It's not necessarily because like I'm not a 19 Charlie or so or Delta, what they are. I'm not that. I'm a fueler, but because I'm supporting their squadron, I get to have it. Like I get to do the training, and I think if I'm not wrong, they do it like once or twice a year. And when they were doing it, I was at BLC.
Oh.
So I wasn't able to do it, but I know it's grueling, and it's whoever's already have those, they can do the training with you. So at first when they said, do you want to do spur? I was like, what is it? And they said, oh, it's like basically you get smoked for 3 days. You walk and it's just grueling. And I was like, first of all, I was like, I'm not having a private smoke me as an NCO. But then I was like, all right, you know what? I should put my pride back. And I was like, I'll do it. Why not? And then I got into class, so I was like,
nice.
That's unfortunate. I didn't get smoked by private.
But you don't get to ride horses anymore, right? It's just the cavalry is not what it used to be with the horses.
No.
So do you have your Stetson? Do you get to wear that?
I don't, just because I haven't earned it yet.
Oh, earn it.
You have to earn it to kind of be patriotic for it.
Yeah, do it.
Next time, but now they're disbanding my unit, so another time.
Oh man, that's I bought my dad a Stetson it's the same style and stuff like that, and he really likes it. It's like, oh man, but I got it, and you have to shape it because it looked like a bowler. Mm-hmm. It was so funny. It just did not look right.
It looks nice when you're actually wearing the
shaped,
formations and everything.
Yeah, and I think it's really cool. I mean,
it is pretty cool. Yeah, I agree.
So, what goals do you have for your time here?
Really, I haven't really put anything. I'm always looking towards the next progression or the next position. My thing is, I mean, I joined because I want to lead soldiers. So moving into a position where I can be a platoon leader and really take on that opportunity would be amazing. That's really my big thing while I'm here. Moving forward, I don't know, just making sure that I get those experiences that actually do prepare me to be an S2 or, I don't know, maybe someday assume charge of a company or something like that. So, yeah.
Well, yeah, if you're military intelligence, you can slide right into that and get a special little corner office in the NSA.
I got no issue with that. No issue at all. Crunch numbers.
Yeah, Maryland is a nice place. I have to say it is great, and especially Fort Meade. It's right in there, right smack dab between Washington D.C. and Baltimore. So
yeah, it's a great location.
Yeah, it is. It really is. So when are you eligible for the next stripe?
Promotion.
You're a staff sergeant.
So I think that's what the biggest thing right now is, like, people always chasing points, but they're not chasing education. They're not chasing those LPDs with their first on major. And I think that was my first thing, is like, I want to chase the points. I want to get promoted. I want to see 6, 7, right? But then it's just like, I'm focusing on the rank. I'm not focusing on my development, on my soldiers' development. So to be honest, I'll be okay to stay in this position for rank, actually, not position. To stay for like 2 more years, just because, like, I enjoy time with soldiers. And the higher up you get, the less time you get involved with them. You put out the missions and tasking and everything. You make sure you're responsible for them, but you're not really working with them. And that's something I enjoy. So for me personally, I think is to develop my soldiers, make sure they rank up, because, like, their progression reflects greatly upon you, kind of thing.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And I'm looking at that more than of a rank. I want to be able to accomplish those things, to see, like, my soldiers go to the promotion board, go to the Soldier of the Month or EST, EIB, like, all those things, like, to make sure, like, they're ready for it.
Yep.
That's great.
That's awesome.
So what would you, you know what? I want to end this on a good high note. What would you, if you were to give some recommendations or some advice, if you were to give some advice to the people coming up behind you, what advice would you give them?
Go ahead, sir. I got to think.
And I got to think about this one too.
See, I always have one. I always get one where, see, I have to ask a question where I just stump you.
Yeah. I would say, just be patient with yourself. I think coming into new positions can be very overwhelming. It's very easy to be hard on yourself, especially when you're assuming a position where you're having to take care of soldiers or where there's a lot expected from you. Yeah, just make sure that you rely. I mean, this is for all the lieutenants, making sure that they rely on their NCOs. That's the big one for sure. And I think my ROTC program did a really great job at that. And then just listening. I mean, really, it's not about being the loudest person in the room. It's definitely about sitting back, taking it all in, soaking it, and then acting upon what you learned. Yeah, that's what I would say.
For me, I would say the biggest thing right now I'm learning in my position is take it professionally, not personally. Because a lot of people, like, when they come in, especially on the enlisted side, they just came out of high school, they don't know anything. And they have their own set ways because of their background, how they were raised, right? And when they come to the military, it's a one standard. It's not fit for, oh, you're from Maryland, and let's do Maryland standard, or like Utah, right? It's the same standard. So be able to accept, like, the 2 years is going to suck because, like, they're trying to get you down to the same standard, not your standard. And then after that, like, you're just going to flourish. So, like, be okay with uncomfortable 2 years to make a career if you're looking at it that way. Be okay and just don't take it personally. It's all professionalism.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Lieutenant Londono and Sergeant Sorto, I appreciate you both coming in.
Thank you.
And hopefully I'll be able to get some more of your fellow colleagues in here, and we'll hear their stories too.
Oh, yeah.
So,
absolutely.
And maybe I can have you back someday, and it's like, hey, you're back.
Yep. Recap.
So, well, anyway, I am Jeff England from the Fort Johnson Public Affairs Office. You've been watching the Fort Johnson podcast with the 310 this time around. And please be sure to hit that subscribe and like button, and we'll be seeing and listening at you later.